Well, this is Sparks Art, and I am going to kind of attempt to film my first vlog and talk a little bit about my horses, training, that kind of thing. And I guess I'm going to talk a little bit about tie anxiety and a little bit about my girls and like the difference between both of these mares. So this one over here is she's my main squeeze. Her name's Ginger. I know her halter's tied a little bit low. It's cold and it's cold. I just don't really care this morning. She's really good. She's a little bit longer than I'd like to tie him, but I'm just trying to get him fed this morning because it's cold. I want to go home and sleep. So, just out here doing my best. But this mare, she is kind of what I would call an overconfident horse. Generally, she can tend to be a bit pushy. She's not afraid of anything though. So like when this mare says that she doesn't want to do something or doesn't want to go through something or whatever, like I've never found that there's not a reason for it. I found like after the fact that there's some sloppy footing or it's a little steeper than I thought it was, or like something like that. And if she's ever bucked on me, it's usually because she's opinionated and she's letting me know that something's ill-fitting or her back needs to be adjusted or something like that. But this mare, when she gets impatient like this when she's tied, it's not her being anxious. Let me fix this. Sometimes the thing with these rope halters too, sometimes they just kind of get loose on you. These horses rub on them and stuff. They just don't like to stay where they're supposed to. But she's getting impatient for whatever reason. Right now it's because Bougie's eating and we're out of grain and it's just the end of the world. This mare, this is Bougie. I just got her maybe about a month ago from a gal because she was getting kind of bullied off the round bale. So she's a little thinner than we'd like, but she's already been putting on a little bit of weight. And got her blanketed and stuff, and just having her in an environment where we're not as stressed out all the time is helping a lot. So getting there a little bit at a time, and of course coming into winter is not going to help anything with the weight. She'll probably put the rest on in the springtime. She's a nice little mare, but she has a lot of anxiety, and I don't know if it's because somebody like did something to her. I don't think so. I don't think that's what it is, because it's not like I've dealt with horses that have some trauma, and it's not quite that. I think whoever was training her probably just didn't spend enough time with her as she needed. Kind of rushed through some stuff, and she is just not the most confident horse. And she's really one that you gotta be patient with. Let her think about things. Let her focus. Let her she gets kind of balled up and wants to get bracy. And so for the first little bit of a ride or a workout, or even sometimes when I tie her and stuff, she just gets kind of bracy, and you have to let her work through it. Be patient with her and just give her a little time, and she gets right through it. But this mare, I don't want to tie her with a rope halter, because if she were to set back, what happens when a horse sets back is they're in nothing but a fight or flight mode. They're not thinking anymore. They're not gonna use their thinking brains. They're not gonna learn anything from it other than fear. So I don't want her in a rope halter, because what can happen with those, they don't like to break, and so they can really injure their pole up here when that happens. I'm actually gonna, because she's had a setback issue, I'm planning on having my chiropractor look at her pole specifically to see if it needs to be adjusted or worked on or anything, which it wouldn't surprise me if it does. So she's in a flat halter. You can use a breakaway. I just don't necessarily. I think it's redundant because I actually tie them with twine here. So if she were to set back, this twine would just snap. It's not a big deal. It wouldn't hurt the building, wouldn't hurt her halter. She would just get loose, which is also why we're practicing tying in an indoor. You know, you can do this in pretty much any closed arena or, you know, space of some sort. I don't recommend doing it in the open because if they get loose, then they really get loose. I also don't recommend doing this in a stall because when they do it in the stall, you can get trapped. They can get trapped. Sorry about the shaking, it's cold. This is Wisconsin. It's way too cold. The girls are unblanketed at the moment because I was going to switch them to heavier stuff, and also I'm going to let them loosen a little bit and let them roll. See that mirror over here? There, that's not anxiety. That's just her being impatient. She's done with her food. But honestly, what I've been working on with this mare is just making like being tied up a good thing. So she gets fed when she gets tied. I've been brushing her. I'm pregnant right now, so I can't really ride anyway. And so she's already been a lot more relaxed. We've only had one setback issue, and she just snapped the twine and we retied and she was okay. And I think honestly it's because there was a ladder that fell that spooked her. But yeah, anyway, I mean, that's kind of what I got going on. I've worked with horses that have worse issues than this one does, and where I had to work up to this point. And basically what I do is I won't actually tie him. I'll just kind of wrap the rope around. I might do some step up exercises where I actually wrap the rope around a tree or whatever and ask him to step up to the tree. And kind of just teach them what I want when that pressure on the halter happens. And then loosely wrap them so if they pull back, they just get loose or whatever. So, I mean, it's just a process. Like, never ever let a horse just set back and pull and pull and pull and pull. They can break their neck. They could break a bone. They could obviously snap equipment. They can really, really get themselves hung and hurt. And you can too, trying to get in there and break loose. So it's just really important, I think, to tie with something like twine. But yeah, I mean, that's kind of my whole spiel on this whole thing. So I don't know, maybe somebody sees this and it would help them. I'm gonna pause this, untie the girls and let them run around, and maybe I'll get some video footage.